Bitcoin continues to drive upward. MicroStrategy, bit of a lagger right now. Today on the economic calendar, we've got very little news, just price, import price index. Tesla did something very interesting in the last couple of days. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at that chart. We're also going to look at Block a little bit today, see what they're up to. But before we get going, smash that like button, subscribe if you've been with us for a while and haven't done so yet. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. We've got hoodies now. We've got the Astro-Bull. This one has the Astro-Bull on the back, Trade Cave on the front. And we've also got the Rocket Doge with the Rocket Doge on the front and the Trade Cave on the sleeve, as is traditional with the t-shirts. Also check out the sticker shop for Trade Cave. We've got a couple of stickers on there. That one's on Redbubble. The links are in the description as well as the channel bio. Go ahead and check those out. First of all, Tesla. Tesla moved about $600 million worth of Bitcoin going into their earnings, which is going to be quite soon in the next week or two. That's pretty interesting. Elon's been tagged as a potential advisor for cryptocurrency for a Trump administration. He's talked about accepting Bitcoin when Bitcoin is 50% renewable energy or produced by 50% renewable energy. Again, they used to take it. They canceled it due to backlash, and they said that they'd bring it back. That's a pretty interesting thing that's going on right now. So they're moving a lot of Bitcoin around. Are they planning to buy more Bitcoin? Are they planning to sell Bitcoin? We don't actually know yet, but we do know that the earnings are coming up, and it might be related to that. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. This could be a catalyst for Bitcoin going forward. What's going on with Bitcoin today? It is up again 0.44%. Earlier, it was up 0.2% or so. 1.2% or so. A little bit will go, but we have that double bottom confirmed. We are confirming it here right now by getting another candle up and above that neckline, which is all the way down here at $63,000 now. In 3 days, we're holding it. We're holding it for 2 days now. If we hold this one more day, I would not be surprised to see this thing crawl up to about $70,000 and do it quite quickly. So we're keeping our eyes on that. One thing I forgot to mention in the intro was I bought my Dogecoin. Doge, I bought it. I ended up buying it a little higher than I wanted to. You can see this here. 22 cents. Woo! That's where we want to go. But I ended up buying it a little higher than I wanted to. I saw that price wasn't really coming back down. It kept confirming higher and moving upward. So I ended up chasing a tiny bit. And instead of getting it in at 10.9 as I wanted to, I got in at 11.6. So 11.6 cents. How much am I up on that now, though? So I'm happy that I decided to do that. I am currently up 8% on my Dogecoin right now. It is up 10% today. So I'm pretty happy. I purchased my Dogecoin yesterday. Let me just take a look real quick. Yeah, okay, now I'm up 7.7% on my Dogecoin. So I'm looking to do about an 80-90% run up on this, around 22 cents. I would be looking for it to have a hard time, maybe come back down for the springtime or late winter, like February-ish time period. I'd be looking for it to come back down, but right now I'm looking for it to make that move up to about 22 cents ish. If I'm lucky, we might run into some issues around 14, but I'm hoping to hit that 22. We'll see if it gets close to it. Okay, but anyways, Dogecoin already in it. All right, MicroStrategy is actually lagging behind Bitcoin now. So you saw Bitcoin was up 0.4%. Well, MicroStrategy is down 0.6% today, or about $1.24. So it is coming underneath the 5-day moving average. If we close down there, we closed down there yesterday, we opened up above it today. If we closed below today, open below it tomorrow, I would not be surprised at all to see it come down to the 21-day moving average here in the next couple of days, probably maybe even by the end of the week, which is down at 175.39. That is where I'd be looking to recommit to my wheel strategy on MicroStrategy on right now. You can see that the oscillator here, the momentum oscillator here is all pointing down pretty much. The green is kind of flat. The orange is starting to curl over. The faster ones are all pointing down. So that doesn't mean that we're going to come crashing down. It's definitely done like right back here on September 30th. They were all pointing down too, and it just came and bounced off the orange and went higher. But now we're below the orange, so I'm expecting the blue and yellow to come all the way to the bottom, which I think is why we might hit the 21-day moving average on MicroStrategy. So I'm waiting for that. I'm watching that close, seeing what it does there. And so I'm just kind of sitting on my hands, waiting for MicroStrategy to come down there. When it gets there, I think I'll start going long again on MicroStrategy. And of course, none of this is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. Simply my thoughts when I look at these charts, and it is for informational and entertainment purposes only. You can see that the miners are up again today. Not a lot though. Most are up 1-2%. They were up like 4 or 5 right away at the bell, and they're kind of bleeding off here. CORZ, one of the weakest performers again today, but we know why that is. It ran up so hot compared to its peers for a long time. It's coming up on a bearish structure here. That doesn't mean it's going to collapse or anything. It just means it's going to lag behind its peers for a little while here as they catch up due to Bitcoin launching up. I mean, of course, you got such a huge push up off of the CoreWeave deal. It's not surprising that it's going to cool off a little bit. Okay, that's it. That's all it's doing. I'm not concerned about this at all. This is a healthy thing for it to do. WULF is actually doing a little bit of a recovery today. It's up 2.6%. It's actually one of the better performers up there with IREN today. It is coming up on the on this trend line below it right now. We want to see it get above this trend line. It gets above this red trend line again, and I think it might get above it when it intersects with this white line here at 496. But once we do that with WULF, I'd be not too surprised to see it take out this high here at 542, maybe even run for like the 650-ish here on WULF before long. Anyways, that's not really what I wanted to cover today. We're going to go look at the Tesla chart for a little bit here. Let me go take a look at that. So Tesla, we got earnings. Earnings for Tesla are going to be October 23rd. Okay, that's next Wednesday. They're moving a bunch of Bitcoin around. The robotaxi event, while not a disappointment, didn't exactly provide tons of confidence in what Tesla's timeline is for rolling it out. We are seeing a bear flag right here. That's a bear flag. So we're watching a bear flag as we slowly melt up a tiny bit at a time into the 5-day moving average, where I would not be surprised to see it drop back down again and see us come and test the $200 level on this thing. Maybe this white line. Why did I draw this white line? What's this for? Can't remember. Looks like it's for support back here. 207.97. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there just in case I had it there for an important reason. Can't remember right now. But I would not be surprised at all to see it revisit $200 by earnings unless they have something big to drop. Okay, that's it. Right now, we might see it melt up a tiny bit because if you look at the momentum oscillator here, you can see that the blue, the fastest, crossing over the yellow. Now, if it gets pushed down by the purple, then we can see it come down further, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it kind of melt up again a little bit more into this 5, stay a bit flat for a little while. I don't see Tesla doing a whole lot for the next week or so, especially with earnings so close. I think it's going to be a bit gridlocked where it is until we get earnings and find out exactly what's going on with it. So that's it there for that Tesla. NVDA up a little bit today. That's great to see after the ASML. So ASML had their earnings yesterday, and they were leaked. They were leaked early. I forgot about that. They were leaked early. Look at that. That dumped bad. What was the percentage? 16%. We lost 16% yesterday on ASML. They are the manufacturer, the only manufacturer of the most important equipment for developing semiconductors, and that's why NVIDIA and all the other semis were down yesterday. And today NVIDIA is doing a little bit of a recovery. It's still a red candle, but we're getting a tiny bit of recovery on that. We hit the 5-day moving average and it bounced a little bit off of that. I would like to see this come up higher again. We'll see. This one might also come down to the 21 and bounce off of it, which is down at 126 right now, especially with the momentum all kind of the average force coming down, the momentum oscillators, the stochastics, they're starting to point down as well. Unless we get those curling around and the blue starts curling around and taking the other ones up with it, then I think we might see the 21 on NVIDIA as well. Let's see, what's the other one I wanted to talk about today? You know what I haven't talked about in a while? Palantir. Whoa, Palantir's down 4%. Okay, we have to take a moment here. Palantir is down 4%. Palantir has not dropped in a long time. It is gonna hit the 21-day moving average at 39.44. That is fantastic for me personally. I've got some covered calls that I've been just absolutely drowning on for a while. I've been waiting for this. This is fantastic. Palantir coming down. Come on down. Pick us back up again. I'm looking for Palantir. Okay, ooh, man, I'm so excited now. Palantir, I want to see it come down to support. I want to see it come down to support right here. Right there. In fact, I'm going to make a whole other video about this. I want to see it come down to support down here around 37. That'd be so good for me. My call option, my covered calls at 37. One's at 37, one's at 43. I made a mistake at 37, and it burned me real good. And now it's coming back down. This is beautiful. I like seeing this. I really want to see this thing come down to about 37 again, and not just because I want it to come down, but I think it needs to breathe a little bit. I think it needs to reset a little bit. Maybe even, I wouldn't be surprised or even upset if I were to see it come back and test the 50. The 50's down here at 35. That would actually be a really healthy pullback on it. Let's see what that move would be. If it went to 35, it went to the 50, which is down at the ATR band. That would be a 19% pullback. That would be like an average correction. That would actually be pretty healthy for it to do that, to come back, hit the 50, and carry on from there. So I'm going to be watching this real close. I think if it hits the 50 at 35, I might buy another 100 shares of Palantir, and I'd be very happy to do that down there for Palantir. This is fantastic. I love this. This is good. This is really good. Okay, let's go back to the thing I was actually going to talk about. Block. All right, Block. We are seeing Block go down 0.25% today. I'm not too upset about that. It is nearing the top of the ATR band, so I want to see this thing actually come back a little bit around 70, maybe even back down to 67, 68, tap that 200-day moving average again, because you can see this thing has been in just an aggressive upward channel here for days and days and days right now. You can see right here, it started around October 8th, and it's just been really aggressive to the upside. I want to see it break, come down to the 200 around 67-ish, and then I think I might be selling some cash secured puts on this thing going back up to 73. That's what I'm looking at for Square, because Square has some pretty good cash secured puts on it, and I'm not too concerned about it coming down anymore. It came down, it bled off. It's kind of making a inverted head and shoulders down here. A really ugly one with lots of little bits on its shoulder, but it's making one nonetheless. Over $73. I think 73.66 is going to struggle to meet that again. Might revisit back around 68, 69 after doing that. And then once it conquers 73, I'd be looking at doing $70 cash secured puts all the way up to into the 80s on this thing. So I'm actually kind of excited about where it is right now. I wish I'd been paying attention when it was doing this little arm here on September 18th to October 3rd. If I had been paying attention, I would have gotten in on that. But, you know, sometimes there's so many tickers. Sometimes you forget about some. And then you come back to check them and you're like, I should have done this or that or this other thing. Doesn't matter though. We're moving on with it. So I like this. I think it needs to do another. So I think it needs to do one of these, right? It's doing these legs up, right? It came up, came down, then it did a higher high, higher low. Now we're doing a higher high. Now we need to see a higher low. Maybe 67, maybe a tiny bit lower, and then come back up to higher on 73, maybe even 74, 75. And that right here would be where I would decide to sit and wait and see what it's going to do again. Might come back to 68 or so from there on Block. And Block is a holder of Bitcoin, so it does have a big treasury of Bitcoin, so we are watching it for that aspect as well. We're also seeing that it is a sympathy play off of PayPal. Okay, so they do the same sort of thing as PayPal. Payment fulfillment, they do that sort of thing as well. So they are adjacent to PayPal. PayPal, I have a lot of drawings on this chart. I should probably clear some of these out. Let's get a fresh look here. So PayPal's been on a tear lately. If you've been with us a while, you know that I've talked about PayPal in the past, back when it was in the 60s. And okay, that's ugly. I can't keep an eye on that. Back when it was in the 60s, and it just went on a heater. I got real excited about it when they started talking about monetizing their platform with ads and stuff. And then it came down for a couple of months before Wall Street said, oh, hey, that's actually going to happen. They got a new CEO. That's what happened. They got a new CEO, and that CEO was like laser focused on making this happen and getting rid of the old ways, which were dragging PayPal down. and that caused this meteoric rise. But we were talking about it in the 60s. Now it's up at near the 80s. It is kind of floundering around up here right now. I would not be surprised to see it come back to maybe even 76 or so, because you can see right now it's in the fib. It's at the top of the fib bands. The 21 is even at the top of the fib bands here. I mean, even the bottom ATR band is at 73.90, which is like near that top of the bands right there. So I'd probably drill down to the hourly on this guy. Yeah, I'd probably drill down to the hourly for sure. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. The hourly is actually showing some nice base support here. We've come down to this area, made a similar formation before. Above 79.94, I'd be looking at this to move right back up into 81, 82, maybe even $83 for PayPal right there. And of course, I see that dragging block up as well, since it is a sympathy play off of that. Along with Bitcoin moving up, it is also a connection to Bitcoin. So block is interesting to me where it currently is, but I would like to see a little bit of a leg down, something like what MicroStrategy is doing right now, and then curling back up from there. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.